Hi there, I just wanted to do this video. I am in need of saving this orchid. It's not in good condition at all, and I'm not sure what is causing it, so I'm going to do a little bit of investigation, and I thought I'd take you along on figuring out what it is. So let's start with the name. This is a Cattleya. It is Taiwan Green Emerald, and it is one that my mom got at one of the orchid shows that we had gone to about 2 or 3 months ago. And when we brought it home, the leaves were fine, they were all green, but over the last month or so, the canes have really shriveled up. Now you can see that it's covered in a plastic bag on a tray which had pebbles on it as an effort to save the orchid. So let's just get, I'm sorry for the noise, my kids are playing in the background here, but I'm just going to take the bag off. And this is something that my mom, she was away on vacation, and I thought I would just do that, maybe because it didn't get sufficient watering when I was, over at a place watering the orchids. So I thought of, trapping the humidity a bit with the bag over. But obviously that wasn't what it was, because then the leaves started to go brown, and here you can see this one's come off, and there are some fallen leaves on the bottom as well. So what I am going to do is now take this orchid out of the pot, and I really do want to have a look at it. Here, I'll give you a look. These canes have really dried out. It's drying out, and right about till here it's green on the bottom, but it dries out. So I need to figure out fast what it is and try to save this orchid. There is a side shoot that's coming here, and another one here. So that's on this cane that is doing well. It's got the 2 good leaves, but even these leaves are not the best. You can see it's sort of shriveled up. So it looks like it's lacking water, but it may be a little bit of over-watering as well. So I really do want to have a look at the roots. Okay, so save the label carefully till after you're done. I'm just going to lift everything out of this, and the potting mix seems okay. It's not broken down as yet, but it may be a little too fine from what I'm looking at it now. Might be a little too fine, and yeah, it is. It's still clumped up at the bottom and still damp. So it might be a case of overwatering. Let's have a look at it. So just looking at the roots, it's a lot of dead root. There's nothing there, as you can see. It's just all dead. I'm just going to keep that separate, actually, because the potting mix is fine. I think I can reuse it. And it doesn't look like it's infested in any way, so yeah, it's just all dead roots. There's nothing there. So definitely a case of overwatering, and now I need to figure out what we can do, because this is like, you can see it's moving in this direction, growing. This is, some of the older canes are still green, except for this one here. It's slightly browned. It's dried out, but it's green on the bottom, so it's still savable. And I am just going to get rid of all this root because it's all dead and damaged. Okay, so I've given this a good wash, and that's just to get anything off of it, like could be some insects or maybe even mildew that I can't see. So it's just a good idea to wash it. And then these roots are dead, so I'm just going to give it a trim. I've sterilized my scissors with alcohol, and they're not going to do any good, so I can just cut it off right there. Okay. Yeah. And as close to the stem as possible, but being careful not to damage the stem. Okay, there. Alright, so it's very clear that the plant is growing in this direction, and this is the newest, it's like a rhizome, so newest part is there, and this is where we want to concentrate all the energy to. Okay, so for the mix, what I'm going to be using is what I took out of the pot, and it seems to be okay. There's some sphagnum moss, some perlite, and pieces of coconut core fiber in it, and that's fine, but it seems like it's retaining a lot of moisture, so I want to add in some of these bark chips to aerate a little more and to have it as a drier thing. Yes. This is the bark that I am using, but you can use any kind of bark mix in it, a little bit larger maybe, and that is, I'm doing that because the mix is too fine and needs to dry out in between, which it seems to not have done. So I'm just going to mix some of this in with more of the bark, and then I will use that side of it. Not so much of the finer mix. Okay, so for the pot, here's what I'm using. I've gone up one size. It's a 4-inch pot, and it's got lots of slits, slits for ventilation on the bottom as well as on the side. And I'm going to place some of the mix on the bottom, just to give it somewhere to stand on to, because you don't want to bury this into the mix, so you want to keep it above. But I will have to sort of pot it this way and then fill it on the side basically. So when your orchid is not doing well, I've heard people say it's best not to disturb it, but I like to go in and have a look as to why it's not doing well. So let me need more of the bark there. And you know, if the roots are not doing well, and this pot that it was in was opaque and I couldn't see through, so it's definitely a good idea to have it in a see-through pot. That way you can see what's happening with the roots as well. Tamp it down slightly and just be a little firm with it without, you know, being careful not to hurt the orchid as well. Okay, so this is, I had to reposition it a little bit, but this seems to work well. So I'm going to keep it like this and just firm it down and give it a few taps to help the bark chips settle. And you know, it really has no roots, so I've seen someone else even put wire across to keep it tied down. I'll see if it needs it. If it moves around, then, you know, I might have to do that as well, so we'll see. But for now it looks like it's okay. It's firm in there, and I'll clean up all the other stuff out of the way. And then I have here the tray with pebbles, and it is a good idea. I'm not going to water the orchid because it doesn't have roots, but I will give it lots of humidity, and the way I'm going to do that is make sure that this tray always has some water in it, and there's no point in wetting the roots there too much because there are none. So it's going to mainly take in water through the leaves right now while it's forming the roots, and we need to get the plant rehydrated again. So this is what I'm going to let it sit, and I'll put a plastic bag over it and let it sit against a sunny window because it does like sun, and we'll take it from there. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any suggestions, I would be more than willing to hear them. So please do drop me a note and let me know. And if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thank you for watching. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. So one last thing is that don't forget to put your label back in so you remember which plant it is. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.